Okay, when we got married, Todd had got his first show that his company was producing for a network. So he had to leave immediately the day after our wedding, to go to LA to produce this show.
You won't believe the drama that's been unfolding in the Burruss Tucker household. Things have been anything but calm. We're talking about a serious family argument involving Kandi Burruss from The Real Housewives of Atlanta, her husband, Todd Tucker, and the ongoing tension between Kandi's daughter Riley Burruss and her stepsister Kayla Tucker. This story has everything love, jealousy, hurt feelings, favoritism, and secrets that fans never saw coming. Now, most people know Kandi as a strong and successful woman. She's built a business empire. She's a talented singer and songwriter. And she's always come across as someone who knows how to take control of her life. Todd, her husband, seemed like a great match. He's smart, confident, and knows how to handle his own. But as it turns out, not everyone in the family felt that way, especially Riley. Let's take it back to the beginning. Kandi and Todd met back in 2011 during the filming of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Todd was working behind the scenes in production, and Kandi was already a star on the show. Their connection was instant. They started dating, and their chemistry was obvious. Viewers loved seeing them together, and everything looked picture-perfect. In 2013, Todd proposed, and by the next year, they were married. In 2016, they welcomed their son Ace, and fans thought the family was finally complete. But what looked perfect on the outside was hiding a lot of conflict behind closed doors. Kandi's daughter Riley, from a previous relationship, was never fully on board with Todd. She didn't trust his intentions and often felt that he was more focused on what Kandi could provide than on being a loving partner. She believed he was the type of man who chased success and status and feared that he might walk away if things didn't go his way. As Riley watched Todd more closely, her doubts started growing. She didn't like how he acted in past relationships, and she worried her mom might be next on the list. She saw him more as someone trying to benefit from Kandi's fame than as someone who truly loved her. At first, these feelings stayed quiet. But over time, the tension built up. One situation really exposed the problems. Kandi gifted Riley a brand new Porsche Macan with custom red leather seats. It was a flashy and expensive gift, and Riley was thrilled. But Todd wasn't happy at all. He thought it was too much for a teenager and argued that Riley should have started with a modest car like a Honda Civic. Kandi didn't appreciate Todd's reaction. She quickly reminded him that it was her money and her decision. This wasn't just a disagreement about a career, showed the deeper issues of control, parenting, and respect between the couple. Then came another layer of drama. Kayla Tucker, Todd's daughter from a previous relationship. As Riley's stepsister, Kayla struggled to fit into this blended family. From the start, the girls didn't get along. Riley believed she was treated better by Kandi, and Kayla often felt like she was left out or less important. Viewers noticed the imbalance. Even Kayla spoke in interviews about feeling like an outsider. She admitted it hurt to watch Riley get more attention and more expensive gifts. Kayla didn't feel like an equal part of the family, and that pain started to show. Meanwhile, Riley became more vocal about her feelings. She began questioning Todd openly. She even hinted that he was more in love with Kandi's lifestyle than with Kandi herself. According to Riley, Todd played the role of a loving husband when the cameras were on but off camera. She wasn't so sure. Todd tried to keep things peaceful. But with Riley constantly questioning his character and intentions, small disagreements quickly turned into heated arguments. Kayla, caught in the middle, didn't know who to side with. She wanted to defend her dad, but she also felt the sting of not being treated equally in the family. Kayla became jealous, especially when she saw Riley being spoiled. But deep down, she wasn't just upset about the gifts. She was longing for acceptance from Kandi, from Riley, and even from her father. The jealousy between the girls wasn't just about material things. It was about love, attention, and belonging. Then came a breaking point. At a family dinner, the tension exploded. Riley called Todd out in front of everyone, accusing him of being selfish and using her mom for money. Todd, who usually kept his cool, finally snapped and fired back. Candy had to step in to calm everyone down and defend both her husband and her daughter. She reminded Riley that she would always love her, but also made it clear that Todd was her husband and deserved respect. But the damage was done. After the argument, both Riley and Kayla stormed out at different points, leaving Candy and Todd shaken and unsure about how to move forward. This wasn't just a small family disagreement anymore. It was now very public, with fans weighing in on social media. Some people supported Riley, saying she was looking out for her mother. Others took Kayla's side, saying she was being unfairly left out and deserved just as much love. As the feud spilled online, both girls began using their platforms to express their feelings. Riley would post pictures of her mom and her enjoying vacations or luxury gifts, while Kayla posted emotional messages about being strong and feeling forgotten. The family issues were now playing out in front of the world, and that only made things worse. Candy tried hard to balance things. She wanted both girls to feel valued and included, but the past hurts were too deep. Kayla still felt like an outsider, and Riley didn't back down from her belief that Todd had selfish motives. Each family event became tense. Every conversation felt like it could spark another fight. Even close friends of the family were drawn into the drama. The Burruss Tucker household, once seen as picture perfect, was clearly struggling. What makes this story different is that, unlike many families who deal with their issues in private, this one was unraveling right in front of the cameras and millions of fans. Everyone was watching, commenting, and choosing sides. As of now, the tension between Riley and Kayla continues, and things haven't fully settled. Riley still doesn't fully accept Todd, and Todd is growing more frustrated with constantly being painted as the bad guy. Kayla, meanwhile, is still trying to find her place in the family and make peace with the fact that she may never be treated the same as Riley. It's a difficult situation, and the truth is blended families are rarely easy, but with so many eyes watching, the pressure only gets worse. Time will tell if this family can truly come together or if the cracks will only grow deeper. Stay tuned, because this story is far from over. What if everyone in the same house believed they were doing their best, yet no one felt truly seen? That's what happened in the Burruss Tucker family. A story filled with love, rivalry, jealousy, heartbreak that slowly turned their home into a place of quiet battles and loud silences. Todd, the father, genuinely thought he was doing everything right. In his eyes, he was showing up as a caring husband and a responsible father. But what he saw as effort, his daughters didn't always notice. Riley, his stepdaughter, had her own opinions about his choices. Kayla, his biological daughter, often felt completely invisible. And this was just the beginning. Kayla's feelings grew heavier over time. While she tried to stay close to her family, she started feeling like she was always competing for love. Her stepmother, Candy, seemed to pour all her energy into Riley, giving her fancy gifts, helping her chase her career dreams, and taking her on exciting trips. Kayla didn't get those things. She wasn't angry about the gifts. Not really. What she truly wanted was to feel included and loved in the same way. Inside, Kayla felt like she had to fight just to be noticed. She lived in a house where she constantly felt like a shadow, standing in the background while Riley enjoyed the spotlight. It wasn't that Riley was doing anything wrong. She was simply receiving the kind of attention Kayla longed for. You might expect that this would bring the stepsisters closer. Maybe they would talk it out, understand each other, and grow into friends. But that's not what happened. Instead, the tension grew. The rivalry between Riley and Kayla only got worse. Every time they tried to talk, something would go wrong. Even casual conversations turned uncomfortable, filled with subtle jabs or long silences. Holidays, family dinners, even relaxed hangouts felt like ticking time bombs. Jealousy and resentment were always in the air, just waiting to explode. The moment everything boiled over was at a family event Candy had planned. It was supposed to be a celebration of her big business achievement, a proud day for her. She had high hopes that it would bring the family together, at least for one night. But the night took a sharp turn. During the party, Riley called Todd, out in front of everyone, disagreeing with how he handled things at home. Meanwhile, Kayla sat quietly, feeling hurt that she wasn't even included in the family photos or recognized with a gift. Her silence was loud and her pain was obvious. Things got heated fast. Voices were raised. Candy broke down in tears. Todd, overwhelmed and frustrated, lost his temper. Riley stormed out of the house. Not long after, Kayla walked out too. Night became one of the most talked about moments in the family's story. Fans who followed them online later called it a breaking point. After that, the drama spilled onto social media. The girls didn't name names, but their posts said it all. Riley showed off her new gifts and trips, clearly hinting at how loved. She felt Kayla, on the other hand, posted about strength and being overlooked, about trying hard to stay grounded even. No one seemed to notice. What made it worse was, from that point on, the house didn't feel like home anymore. Every decision, no matter how small, became a possible trigger for another argument. Even dinners became tense events. Todd and Candy tried to avoid fights, but it was like walking on eggshells. Their efforts to stay calm often failed. And the emotional pressure affected everyone. Riley kept criticizing Todd, questioning his role as a father. She believed he didn't understand her or care about her opinions. Kayla, in her own quiet way, sank deeper into feelings of loneliness. She couldn't help but compare herself to Riley, no matter what she did. It felt like Candy would never see her the same way. Then came the money fights. Small disagreements over gifts or vacation plans turned into major arguments. Candy reminded herself constantly that Riley was her daughter, and she had a duty to support her. But Kayla was her stepdaughter, and she needed love too. The balance was exhausting to maintain. The emotional gap between the girls widened. Riley thought Kayla was acting jealous and dramatic. Kayla thought Riley was spoiled and selfish. One particular post caused the most chaos. Riley shared a picture from another trip Candy had arranged. Kayla commented something that sounded innocent but hinted at feeling excluded. That one comment started another online argument. This time, it went viral. Private feelings were out in the open. And people online had a front row seat to the family falling apart. Supporters jumped in quickly. Some praised Riley for defending her mom and calling out unfair treatment. Others stood behind Kayla, saying all she wanted was fairness and a sense of belonging. No one knew who was right, but everyone had an opinion. Todd tried not to take sides, but it was obvious he was worn out. Riley's complaints about him left him feeling underappreciated. He wasn't the type to argue, but his silence spoke volumes. Candy, meanwhile, cried more often. She loved both girls, but felt stuck in the middle, always trying to make peace, and always falling short. The house became a battlefield of emotions. Even birthdays and simple moments turned stressful. Everyone was always on edge, wondering when the next argument would start. By the end of this chaotic chapter, it was clear. The family wasn't just dealing with normal growing pains. They were caught in a storm of unmet needs, misunderstood feelings, and emotional distance that no one had planned for. Riley wanted to protect her mom. Kayla just wanted to feel seen. Todd and Candy, though trying their best, couldn't fix what was slowly breaking. The world was watching, waiting to see what would happen next. Would the sisters ever find peace? Could the parents rebuild the love in their home? Or was this the kind of tension that could never really be solved? For now, the Burruss-Tucker family story remains a lesson in how even love can get lost when people stop listening, and how healing takes more than time. It takes understanding, patience, and truth. Riley and Kayla often found themselves in little arguments. Sometimes, even the smallest disagreement would quickly turn into a bigger problem. Riley